Hi, I'm Betsy Brown, and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this is the first time that I've been in New Orleans. And I read an article in August after the second anniversary of Katrina, and I was really dismayed to read about how little had been done down here, and thought that was terrible. And so my family and I decided to come down for our holiday break and try to help. So we contacted lots of different organizations, but my 12-year-old daughter, Rebecca, they wouldn't, a lot of the organizations wouldn't have her help because she wasn't old enough. So I finally found Lean on Me through the internet. And so we came down to rebuild houses, paint, and do whatever we can. I found New Orleans to be amazingly in need of people's help still. There's a lot of boarded up buildings, and you can see the devastation. It's everywhere. Now, to be fair, I need to say I've never been here before, so I'm really not sure what it looked like pre-Katrina. But there's still a lot of work to be done, and I do really believe that everybody who has the ability to help should try to come and help. I mean, there's every individual effort is always worth something in my mind. So just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to put back the world when bad things happen, I think. So I think it's really important for people who would otherwise go on vacations and be spending their money to do indulgent things that they've probably done many, many times before, play tennis and golf and lie on the beach, and to take a week out of their life to actually do something for somebody else. Many of us are so fortunate, and it's really important to remember and care about people who don't always have the opportunity that we do. So I thought this was a great family vacation for our family for this week, and a real opportunity for our kids to learn a lot too, to really think about others and to have fun doing it. It's a lot of fun.
Whether you call it volunteerism or voluntourism, the number of Americans participating in service communities is exploding. This trend has the support and encouragement of the Obama administration with the passage of the Serve America Act.
I know that the price of tuition is higher than ever, which is why if you are willing to volunteer in your neighborhood or give back to your community or serve your country, we will make sure that you can afford a higher education.
Named after Senator Ted Kennedy, this law authorizes sweeping expansion of national service, doubling the college student AmeriCorps, and creating a new senior corps. Whether working on disaster relief, teaching English or reading, providing skilled professional assistance, these trends are all part of the most significant expansion of civil service since the Great Depression. Be part of the movement and follow the call to serve. We will help to train you, provide the tools, and ultimately broadcast your story on travel television.
National Civilian Community Corps, NCCC, is a national program that enrolls over 1,100 18 to 24-year-olds each year who perform 1.8 million hours of volunteer service during their 8-month residential participation. NCCC members start with an 8-week training session at one of 5 campuses across the U.S. This prepares participants to meet the national homeland security and disaster response needs. NCCC members then work for 6 months in the Gulf Coast. Many of the AmeriCorps NCCC volunteers become trainers or group leaders during their 8 months of service in the Gulf Coast.
AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps is an organization that brings 18 to 25-year-olds in to do community service projects, and we mainly work down in the Gulf Coast region. AmeriCorps Western Region currently has 22 teams down here in the Gulf region, and Camp Hope is where we house a lot of our NCCC members that come in to work for various projects like Habitat for Humanity.
However, Camp Hope is bigger than just that. We house volunteers for a number of other groups. Some of our partner organizations are the St. Bernard Project, the Hope Worldwide, Hands On, the New Orleans Recovery School District. We will house volunteers from any group as long as we have space. The idea is to provide an inexpensive but comfortable place for people to stay during their volunteer work weeks down here in the Gulf region.
I am Timothy Howard. I'm from Kentucky. I am a member of AmeriCorps NCCC. What kind of brought me about down here was that when I was going through high school and I was going through college, there's a lot of trouble spots in the world. And I always felt like I should do something, but because of high school and because of college and because of those responsibilities, I didn't have the time, or I didn't feel like I could dedicate as much as myself to these problem spots as I felt was needed. So after I finished college, I realized that I did not have a family yet, I didn't have any established job, and I had the time in my life to volunteer for one of these organizations. And so I did some research and found AmeriCorps NCCC, and with their 10-month program, I decided that that would be a good thing for me, help out in the United States, which I think it's important to, well, there are other problem spots in the world. I think it's important to help out at home. So I signed up for the program and trained for a month in California. And then our first project, our first of 4 projects, they sent us to Camp Hope in St. Bernard's Parish. So now I have learned how to do siding, painting interiors. Hopefully I'll get a chance to learn how to do framing roofing soon. And I worked in the Habitat warehouse for 2 weeks, so I also learned how to work a forklift, which is my new favorite tool. And had a great time. Everybody's very, very enjoyable to work with, very pleasant, very understanding of your situation, and definitely everybody has their own story, whether it has to do with the hurricane and the locals or the volunteers who come down here and how they did it. So really happy I'm down here and looking forward to more time.
I was here in March with a music group. I was on tour, and I fell in love with New Orleans very unexpectedly. I was a senior in college in New York City, and I assumed I would stay in New York City just because that's what most people who I went to school with did, and that's what my plan had been for most of college. So all of a sudden, here I am, March of senior year, saying I'm going to move to New Orleans. And I didn't really care what job I was doing here, so I did a very wide-ranging job search. I just looked in a variety of different fields, and to my great surprise, ended up working in construction, which is not what you usually do with a degree in musical anthropology, but that's what I'm doing with it, and I love it. I love every day of it, so it's great fun. Habitat is a really fun organization to work with, and people often say, it's so good of you to give a year of your life and to give your time, but in all honesty, it doesn't feel like it's something I'm doing just for other people, because it's also definitely for myself as well, because the city is incredible and it's a really interesting place to live and to sort of spend my time when I'm young. And the people who I work with are just fantastic, and of course the volunteers are great. Everybody who comes down and just donates their time is amazing, and it's a great experience as well to be using my brain in a very different way and getting to use my body as well after 4 years of college.
Hi, my name is Mary McVeigh. I'm a member of AmeriCorps NCCC from the Western Region campus, Sacramento. I've been down here for about a month now with my team of 11 Corps members, doing some community service in the Camp Hope kitchen. We are cooking for anywhere to between 400 and 700, maybe sometimes even 800 volunteers. It's a different kind of community service. I was down here last year for about 6 months doing a variety of rebuilding and construction projects. So this is a nice change, working with the community members, for the community members, feeding them, getting to share with them, interact with them, in a different way. So there's a lot of different kinds of volunteer work that can be done besides rebuilding. So come on down and check it out.
I first came down to Hattiesburg, Mississippi in May to serve as the administrative assistant for the Gulf Coast office, which is in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Jules Hampton is the director down here. And I had a wonderful experience. And then I moved on to doing a summer of service program in July, which was held at Xavier University. We brought inner city kids from New Orleans, 14 to 17-year-olds, and they learned what serving their community was all about. And we had a wonderful time. That was a month long. And I am now back as the Camp Hope support team leader to serve for a month.
One of the things that I tell our people at orientation each week is that it's important that you're here. It doesn't matter if you lift a finger while you're here. There are people down here who have had their faith in humanity restored just by the fact that volunteers are coming, that they know that someone cares for them. I spoke with a local resident here who told me that he sat on the roof of his house for 5 days waiting for someone to come and rescue him and his father and his mother, elderly father and mother. He lost his mother during that 5-day period, and he said he had lost faith in everything. But the people coming here to Camp Hope have restored his faith. So it's important that people show that they care about their fellow Americans, fellow community members in the St. Bernard Parish, Louisiana area, and give back just by being here.
To see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.
For nature buffs, there are many reasons to explore the wide array of landscapes of the United States. But every year, as September approaches and the summer gives way to fall, one spectacle consistently draws the crowds: leaves changing color. For those wanting to get the most out of nature's free show, head to foliagenetwork.com. This website provides accurate foliage information, collected in reports provided directly by very dedicated volunteer foliage spotters. This information is then compiled into the Foliage Report and is available on the site and often through local newspapers, TV stations, and websites. Check out foliagenetwork.com to find out when and where you need to be to see nature's extravaganza of the most brilliant red, yellow, and orange hues to ever grace a branch.
Whether you define getting away from it all by going where the action is, or you prefer the road less traveled, following a few tips can help your next vacation go a little smoother. First, start by searching the web for low airfare. Some sites can save you money on flights if you are flexible at times you need to take off and arrive. Also, ask if any free upgrades are available. They often are. Next, learn about your destination before you arrive. If you're traveling to a different country, get some maps and read some articles to help familiarize yourself with the culture and climate. It's also a good idea to learn a few phrases and some key words in the language of the country you plan to visit. And finally, leave copies of your itinerary with some people who are staying home. Not only will that help friends and family stay in touch with you while you're away, it can also help assure you have a safe journey home.
Hi, Mark Murphy here in Taiwan, and specifically Taipei, our jumping off point to show you the island of Taiwan. Taipei should be the hub of a vacation here in Taiwan, and we're going to use it as our jumping off point to show you the sights and sounds of Taipei. And we're going to begin right here in the shadow of Taipei 101, the tallest building in the world. You see that sign? That's what you want to look for. That is the MRT sign, better known as the subway for us folks in the States, and it's definitely the best way to get around Taipei. All right, I recommend you get one of these. It's called the Yo-Yo card if you're a local, but on here it says Easy Card, and it does make it easy. Load it up with some cash, and you're on your way. you talk about orderly, check it out. They actually have a waiting line, and it's literally a queue, so we're literally traveling the MRT in a very civilized way. Our first site in Taipei is the Sun Yat-sen Memorial, built in honor of the national father of modern-day China. He's revered in both China and Taiwan for his help in ending the dynasty period. So as you can see, as you walk around, everything's in Chinese. So what you want to do is you want to find an English-speaking guide, and you can recognize them because they're wearing orange vests. And for free, they'll take you around the memorial and literally translate the history of Sun Yat-sen. So let's say you want to do some electronic shopping. Taiwan's not a bad place for it. This is Kwanghua Digital Plaza, and this is the place to check out for everything electronic under the sun. All right, we've made it to the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. Chiang Kai-shek, Taiwan's first president, served 27 years until his death, and this memorial was erected in his honor. While we're here, we're going to try to catch the changing of the guards. In your travels around Taipei, make it a point to stop in for lunch or dinner and try some beef noodles, something that Taiwan is famous for. We're here at Longsan Temple, and we're going to take a moment to say a prayer for the travel industry. Okay, any trip has to involve a stop in a night market. We're here in the Washi Street night market, also known as the tourist night market. And as you can see, different than some of the other markets, they actually have sit-down restaurants along with the food stalls. And I guess one of the reasons they call it the tourist night market is because there are plenty of souvenir shops, things that you can bring back to remind you of your trip to Taipei. Oh, as a side note, we saw something pretty interesting, which is a place where they take live snakes, skin them while they're alive, drain the blood, and you can actually drink it. I think I'm going to take a pass on that. So this is Ximanding. It's akin to the Times Square area of New York, if you've been there, and it's where the young hip crowd hangs out in Taipei. So you've seen Taipei from the ground. Now check out the view from the top of the 101.
It takes so little. One person doing one thing, one person on a team of 10 gutting a house, one person serving food to a resident. It's so simple. There's so much to be done, and it really, I mean, I think people get overwhelmed and they think, like, what can I possibly do? Come down here. You can do the smallest thing, and it makes such a big difference.
Hi, I'm Susan Wayman. I live down here, and my wonderful cousins and cousin-to-be came down from Michigan to help New Orleans. They wanted to work down here, so we said, hey, let's come here to the lower 9th Ward, and we've just had a wonderful time today.
We're helping to build a kitchen for the community center.
It's kind of amazing that some of the people even working here from, like, they live, like, down the block, and they're putting their time in to, like, build something that's going to help everybody.
I think that I'm most impressed with the community effort and how people are coming from all over the country. We've met people from Baltimore and Albuquerque, and we're from Michigan, so this whole situation is a little bit removed for us. It wasn't until we got down here that we realized how important it is to volunteer and to put forth an effort to improve things.
I think what I was most struck by was how much devastation remains driving down the streets, how many dark houses there are, and that 3 years on, there's still a lot that needs to be done.
everyone in New Orleans appreciates everyone who comes down. Not only the work, but to be able to come back and then tell the story, the true story of what's really going on here and how wonderful people are. We're picking ourselves up by our bootstraps with the help of volunteers, and we're doing it, and there are a lot of wonderful stories down here. And we're working together, and we'd love to tell you all about it.
It changed everything.
Jeremiah Ritchie never expected his family to spend 4 years in temporary housing after Hurricane Katrina.
It's just like someone dropping a bomb. Not everything's fixed.
Including the lives of his 3 children.
I just wanted to break down and cry.
Who vividly remember losing everything.
Good morning, come on!
But step by step, sad childhood memories can be replaced by a new song.
Good, I think you got it.
Young Katrina survivors in Mississippi enjoy the natural rhythms of summer fun thanks to volunteers from North Carolina. For the 4th year, United Methodist musician and author Catherine Rich Guess has brought summer camp to a group of children, most of whom still live in temporary housing. United Methodist churches from 8 states donate supplies and funds to help make the camp a reality.
It makes me open up and see the world much more better. I like it. I just love it. It's wonderful.
Each activity, from kite making to pottery, builds positive images, helping children escape memories of the storm.
It just makes them disappear, and maybe it's like it never happened.
The people here have seen so many volunteer workers that have been rebuilding their homes and their community, but if you don't rebuild the lives of these children, then why bother to rebuild the homes?
The Camp Carnival hits the mark, putting prizes in the hands of children who lost their favorite toys.
Nobody else ever brings anything like this. Awesome.
I can't do hammers and nails, but I can rebuild the lives of the children.